Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. Thanks, sponsors, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication, ComC.com, Burbank Sports Cards, Mike's Stadium Sports Cards, Heritage Auctions, Huggins and Scott Auctions, Panini, Upper Deck, and Topps. Today's episode, it's not a tribute because my brother's still around, but yesterday was Thanksgiving, and tomorrow is my brother's milestone birthday. My younger brother, and he's been a great brother, a great son to my parents, a great father to his kids, great uncle, terrific guy. And it's been wonderful to grow up together. It's been a long time since I graduated from college, and I've lived away, but we've actually had one stint where we lived together for a little while, and that was terrific. When you have sisters, you think they're different. They're girls. I'm a guy. But when you have a brother, you think he's very much like me, but different in a few ways. And you realize that he's better at certain things and I'm better at certain things. And we're very competitive, but in a very friendly way. But my hat's off to him. He's just done a terrific job. He's really taken the lead in the senior care, the elder care of my parents. My dad's passed now, but mom's still around. My brother lives a lot closer, but he's just really been, his wife and family, they've all been fabulous in trying to give extra love and attention and care to my mom. Even though there's caregivers there all the time, my brother's really been exemplary. And I'm the oldest, and like I said, I compete in a lot of ways, but he's definitely taken the lead on that, and I'm very appreciative of that. I contribute in other ways, but families, especially large families, there's a division of labor sometimes. You become known as the son that does this or the daughter that is this way, and it's generally all in good fun. Again, I'm Sports Card Insights, so I'm not going to just talk about my brother, even though I probably could, but as adults, I think he's had less stuff than I do. I think I'm burdened more so with stuff than he is. I moved down to Texas with a small U-Haul trailer. My cards filled up the trunk. Any furniture, clothes, all that was in a very small trailer. And then it got very complicated after that. Well, my brother stayed simple in terms of possessions for a long time. I just wonder when he went to Africa for a while, and if he'd had a card collection, he would have had a problem, because I've really have not moved that much because I've had this really large card collection. And of course, I was doing the company. We had a headquarters and card library and all that stuff. But when he went to Africa, he put his stuff in storage. I swore I'd never put stuff in storage. He told me when he put his stuff in storage, he looked up years later and he realized he'd been paying more in storage than what the furniture and stuff was worth. I got to confess, I'm doing the same thing now. I got some storage a couple of years ago and I'm still paying, and I should do the math. I should take a page from my brother and realize that I need to get out of that storage. You pay every month. They've raised the rent, obviously. The other thing my brother does that I admire is that he takes more pure vacations than I do. I take vacations, but it's rare that I take a pure vacation. Now, Diane and I go some nice places, and it's mostly a pure vacation, but my brother does it really well. And I think that's a secret for no burnout. When I'm going on a vacation, I'm getting enough time away and I'm with my wife, which I love that. And then when we come back, it's great to get back. So I've heard all these other podcasts about burnout. I've never really had that. I don't think my brother has either. He's got a lot on his plate. We both have a really strong work ethic, both very entrepreneurial, and I think we got that from not one, but both parents. We're very similar personality-wise. We took this test, and he comes out at one end of the spectrum on being spontaneous, and I'm more analytical, and then he's more exuberant and expressive, and I'm more reserved. But other than that, we're very much two compatible brothers, and we're compatible in that too. I think we're both good under pressure. I realized when the going got tough, when I was running the company and some of the jobs I had, when the pressure's on for me, I get quiet. When the pressure's on for my brother Chris, he gets loud. And that's how he works through it. And he's very good under pressure, and I'm good under pressure. As I said, he was born essentially on Thanksgiving. My other sister Allison was born on Christmas Day. I was born on Mother's Day, and my other two sisters share 3 days apart in January. So we had family birthdays that were fun to celebrate, and that was great. Let's see. On the matter of his cards, again, being 4 years younger than me, he had mid-60s Topps cards. So I would be in high school, and he would be in 7th and 8th grade. And he had, I think, 66 and especially 67 Topps. Not high numbers, 4th series, as I recall, mostly. and they're now in my collection. I don't even know how that happened, other than I was just thinking, my mom threw my cards away, my duplicates. Maybe my mom threw my brother's cards away and just threw them into my closet. I don't know. I don't remember thinking I'm stealing my brother's cards. It was very obvious. I had gotten my father's cards over Christmas of 1959, so I was always the one that was more serious about collecting cards. As I said, my brother's more extroverted, I'm more introverted. I was always more serious about the cards, but we were both equally serious about sports. So it was never that I loved sports and he didn't, or vice versa. We played a lot of stuff together. The 4-year age difference gave me a huge advantage until it didn't. And then when he caught up, he passed me in a lot of things. And I'd like to think I mentored him, because he did great in a lot of sports and really enjoyed it. And he's passing that on to his kids. And it's been fun to watch your kids excel in sports as well. I've never really been partners with my brother. I haven't even really worked with him that much. I worked with my sister, Claire. Some of you know that. But it's just different. Having a 50-50 partnership with my brother, I know some people do that in their collection. I think that's really tricky. How do you break the tie when it's 50-50? My brother and I are not in business together. I was in business with my sister, but she worked for me and was terrific. She could finish my sentences. So she really understood how I thought, and we had a close relationship, and she was just excellent. My brother, if he would work for me, I don't know if that would have worked as well, because he's type A. So I'm not going to be second chair in my industry, but I can appreciate the excellence that he brings to the things he does. So Tony and Oz, I don't know how you guys do it. Any cousins or brothers that work together in combined collections, or two friends, I think it's really hard. Now, we were each other's best man in our weddings. And so again, we're very compatible. I think in our entrepreneurial aspect, and this applies if you were around in the 80s and 90s, I'm a product guy, and I think my brother's a product guy too, and my dad was a product guy. So if you have a good product, even if you have mediocre marketing, sometimes a really good product can go. Other way around, if you have a poor product, you can fool people with marketing for a while, but the long-term success, and I think my brother knows that, I know that, starts with really making sure you've got a good product that's appropriately priced. Now, when I got these cards that my mom threw away into my collection, apparently. So I don't remember taking them, because it would have been clear, because I didn't have any 67 tops that year. I wasn't buying cards. So any 67 tops cards, and it wasn't that many. When I got the cards from my grandmother, who brought them down from the attic in Christmas of 1959, 400 Gaudies and play balls, 400, something like that, maybe worth $40 in 1959. Now, what are they worth now? But that's not the operative thing. The same thing, if my brother listens to this, he had a couple hundred cards. And the value in 1967 for those couple hundred cards was $10, I think. And it's not that he didn't have some stars in there, but cards just didn't go for that much. And frankly, I'm now realizing that I went to college in 1967 and I didn't take my cards with me. So maybe all these years I've been thinking I misappropriated my brother's cards, and it may have been that my mom just put them all in the same box, and it was just understood that I was the collector. And a couple of years later, when I did want my cards, they were there in my parents' house. So that's interesting, because I'm not a crook. I appreciate my brother's wisdom, just like I've done an episode about different kinds of smart. There's different kinds of wisdom, which is really just applied knowledge. If you're smart, you still got to have knowledge, and you still got to know how to apply it, which is wisdom. And my brother has some wisdom that I don't have, so I always get the benefit of his wisdom. I don't remember consulting a lot with my brother or my dad when I was starting the company and growing the company, but the fact that they were always there was a very positive thing. It gave me a real relief. Same thing, I was there for them. If they'd had issues, they could run things by me. I'd have no problem with that. And lastly, I'm realizing the difference between a sports fan and a collector is expressed by how you spend your time on these moments when you have a choice. For example, there was a card show the same day as the Texas Rangers parade they had after they had won the World Championship a couple weeks ago. It did not even enter my mind that I would go to the parade instead of the card show, because I'm a card guy. I don't know that my brother went to the parade, but he's not a collector. He loves sports just like I do. If I have a choice to play sports or watch sports or collect or read or do something with sports, collecting comes first. And if it's not first, it's maybe tied for first, in the sense that I like watching sports and I can sort cards while I'm watching it in the duller moments. And playing sports is pretty limited to just golf for me. I'm not playing basketball anymore. I'm not playing football anymore. I'm not playing baseball or softball anymore. So I miss that, but it's just time to hang it up. And my brother is a little bit better golfer than me, which is infuriating, but just tells me it's not my genes, it's my swing. So I got to get better. I love to play sports. I've got great memories of that. But at this point now, I'm watching sports and I'm collecting and reading. I used to talk about reading, that I loved reading. All my book reports in grade school were sports biographies, but so were my brothers. And that's how you get a good vocabulary and how you learn to read, and you learned about sports and all that. So we were similar there. But the main thing is, I guess, even though my dad was a collector, I don't know that you can say there's a collecting gene. My mom is not a hoarder, but she's a saver. She doesn't throw things away easily as I do. But my brother, I think, is not exactly the same. I'm very blessed to be the oldest of 5 kids growing up. Very blessed to have a brother, 3 sisters also, but having a brother, I'm going to remember him for his birthday. We did a little thing at Thanksgiving yesterday, and his birthday, he's doing a little pure vacation. He's doing a getaway with his lovely wife, and his kids are pretty self-sufficient now. Still 2 at home, though, so he's got a younger family than I do. Bless you, my brother. I don't know if that's inspiration for me collecting, but I think my love of sports would not have been as great if I had not a brother to play catch with and to throw the ball around and draw up plays in football and all the different things, and play basketball 2-on-2 and 1-on-1 and stuff like that. Like I said, it was great when I had several inches on him and several years on him. When you're adults, not so much. All of a sudden, he's my same size and schooling me. So what goes around comes around for all of you brothers out there. Anyway, thanks, Chris, and thanks, everybody. I'll be back again on Monday with another episode. In the meantime, again, I'm thankful for a lot of things, certainly my awesome wife and family, but that includes my brother and many others, too. Maybe I'll get to them at some future point. So thanks, Chris. Happy birthday.